Hello everyone and welcome to another UCAS tutorial. Today we are going to be going over your education section on your UCAS application. Now this section can be a bit complicated, so that's why we've done a video just dedicated to it. Depending on what courses you are applying for, some courses can be quite stingy with how much detail you go into your education section, so it's always best to do it in full. The main things you need to make sure you include is always have your GCSEs on there, including your GCSE Maths and English and your level 3 qualifications. If your level 3 qualification is not on there, the qualification that's going to provide you with the UCAS points, you're not going to be accepted into the universities because they won't think you meet their entry requirements. So from this screen, or from your UCAS screen, you can go to the education section and then you'll be here. This is what a blank education section looks like. The first thing you want to do is to add your schools. So when I say schools or colleges that you need to add every school or college that you have got a qualification from. For most students, this is their secondary school where they got the GCSEs from, and the Sheffield College where they might have done a level 2 or a level 3 or both. So to do that, just go to Add New School, and then click Find, and then you can start typing in your school name, and it should come up for you. If it doesn't come up for you, go onto the school's website, consider looking up for the postcode, and then try putting that in. That might bring it up, or look on the school website and see if they have changed their school name since maybe you last attended, because sometimes that can be the case. Once you do that, select the school, and the school will appear in here, and the centre number will be put in automatically, and then you need to put in your start date, so it'll probably be September and the first year that you started. No need to worry if you're a bit off with that one, but the main one is making sure you get your finish date right. So for most of you it'll probably be June, May, July, like 2019 if you're planning for this year. This will differ from student to student, so it really depends on when you went to school and when you finished. It will be a full-time course if it was secondary school that you were at, and you want to make sure that you did receive some qualifications from it. Okay, so the next bit is you want to make sure that you are adding your college as well. You need to make sure that you add the qualifications to your school and college separately. So you just go into the same process again, and then type in Sheffield College, we've got Sheffield City College there, put the centre number in automatically. And if you're on you would have started in September, or depending on the year, depending on if you did a level 2 or level 3, your start year might be different, because if you did a level 2 you'd have been at college for longer. 2019, and you'll be finishing, usually it'll be around June time 2021. Okay, and again, it's important that you get your finish time right, because it will then ask you to check that this is the school that you are currently studying at. It is, so then you click Save again, and then that will add the Sheffield College and Meadowhead School. Next bit is adding your qualifications. I'm just going to show you how to add a qualification for your school to begin with. So most of the qualifications that you'll be adding to here will probably be a GCSE. Now, when you type in GCSE, you will see that there are loads of different types of GCSEs. Don't worry too much about which one of these you select. It doesn't really make a difference to your application. A GCSE is a GCSE at the end of the day. The main thing you need to be making sure you do is, if you have got GCSE grades that are graded from 9 to 1, that you are selecting a 9 to 1 system. Or if you've got grades that are D to A star, that you are clicking on one of their systems. Probably the exception to that rule is if you've done something like double science, you will need to add that separately as a double award. So here you've got GCSEs grade 9 to 1 double award, or you've got A to G as a double award here, depending on which one that you did. But for most of them, you can just go GCSE grade 9 to 1. You can then find a list of GCSEs on here. If yours, well, most of them will be on here, so let's use maths as an example. There you go. If your GCSE is not on there, don't worry, you can just type it into here. It won't make a difference. And then your qualification date should be on your certificate, but in most part it will probably be in the last month or around near the last month that you were at school, like May 2019. Your awarding body, that depends between each qualification, that will be on your certificate as well. If you have studied at Sheffield College Maths and English, you've probably done AQA, and your grade is whatever grade that you've got. That should be on your certificates as well. Make sure that if you've got your grade 4 in Maths and English, or even a grade 3, that you are putting them on here, because they help you meet entry requirements for university. It will then ask you for modules and units, but for your GCSEs or any qualifications you got from school or your level 2, you don't need to worry about them. You only need to worry about making sure that your grade is on there, and then you can click save, or you can click save and add similar. If you click save and add similar, it will just take you to the same page again, but it will allow you to add a different GCSE. So let's go with English language this time. Grade 4. Save. And then you see we've added 2 GCSEs to your school there. If you have done other qualifications at your school, like it's quite common for you to possibly do a health and social care BTEC, all you need to do is click add qualifications again, but make sure you're clicking the add qualifications link that is below your school, the right school that you have done them at. So if you've done, say, a level 2 in health and social care at school, let's say it was a BTEC, you can go BTEC award, you can find health and social care, put the year you finished it in, what the awarding body was, what level it was. Chances are if you did it at school, it'll probably be a level 2. And then you can put your grade in there. If it doesn't give you an option to put a grade in and it says pass or fail, then you can just type it in here, and that's not a problem. Again, don't need to worry about your units. Click save, and there you go. So after you've put in all your grades for your school, you then want to be making sure that you're putting in your qualifications for Sheffield College. So if you are studying Maths or English this year, or have completed Maths or English this year, it's the exact same process again. You put your GCSE in, you find Maths or English or whatever you're studying, you say when you're going to be finishing it, and chances are if you're doing it currently, chances are it's going to be 2021 or whatever year you're finishing in if you're watching this in the future. Put your exam board in, and if you've already got your grade for GCSE Maths or English from college, you can put your grade in. If you have not got your grade and you are still studying it this year, put pending, because that means that when we do your reference, it will give us the option to put in a predicted grade for you, which you will need to get into university, because every student who applies for university needs to either have a GCSE grade 4 in Maths and English language, or they need to have a pending grade in GCSE Maths, English or Maths. Let's pop English language in as an example and say that we did that at college and got a grade 4. Oh, I put it in as a grade that's entered in as the future at the future. There we go. And so we've got a grade 4 that we got in 2020 and a pending grade that we've got in 2021. Okay, so the next qualification to add is probably, is your most important qualification, and that is the level 3 you are currently studying at Sheffield College. First thing you need to do is you need to go to, the add qualifications section. Make sure you're clicking the one beneath Sheffield College and not the one beneath your secondary school. And then you'll be presented with a large list of qualifications. Which one you select is dependent on what you're currently studying. If you are not sure which specific cash course or which specific BTEC you are studying, make sure you ask your course leader, because the names of these BTECs and cash courses can change from year to year. So this list that I'm showing you now might not be the same list that you're looking at in the future. But if you're applying in 2020 and you're on the health and social care course, for example, you will be doing a QCF BTEC, which could be one of these. So this one's the diploma, and the extended is here as well. Make sure you're always collecting the right one, because they can blur together. If you are applying after 2020 then and you're on the health and social care course, chances are that you are doing one of these, but like I said, the names of these BTECs can change from year to year. And if you're doing a cash qualification, again, there are quite a few different cash qualifications that you could be potentially doing, so always make sure that you are checking with your course leaders to make sure you are inputting the right one. So let's use the BTEC diploma as an example for this year in 2020. One's doing the QCF. So that is how you add your level 3, and then you start needing to fill in some of the details on here. And unfortunately, unlike with your GCSEs, we do need to go into a bit more detail with this qualification, because some courses, like paramedic science for example, or physiotherapy, will want to know that you have done specific units in health and social care, mainly usually around the science focused ones. So let's add the qualification. Again, if you're studying health and social care, I'm sure it's the same for other BTECs as well. There are different pathways that we present to our students. Make sure you're selecting the right one. If it's not there for whatever reason, you can put it into the other section, but chances are if it isn't there, you've selected the wrong BTEC to be studying. And then make sure you put your end date. Your end date will probably be like July time. Let's say in this case it'll be 2021. You will only be presented with the years that you have put for that you will be attending Sheffield College. So if they're not there, make sure you go back and you change your start and end dates of your Sheffield College at Sheffield College. This awarding body is Pearson. Again, if you're not sure what your awarding body is, make sure you ask your course leaders for that as well. This is a level 3 that you are studying, and your grade. So your grade, this is the very common mistake that I see a lot of students do, as a lot of students just tend to put a predicted grade in. But even if you have a really good predicted grade, you always need to put pending, because if you don't put pending, we can't submit a predicted grade on your application, and it will get sent back to you. You then need to start putting in your modules. Now, the different sections of your modules depend on what your qualification is that you are doing. They won't always have this QCF credit value tab, but the health and social care students who are applying in 2020 will. So I'll just explain to you how you will do that. So you need to put in every module that you have studied so far, and every module that you will be studying in the future. I will need to present you with a list so that you know all the units that you will be studying in the future. And if you do not have your grades from last year, let me know, and I can get them sent to you as well, or your course leader can if you need any help with that. So let's go through putting in some units. So here I've got a list of all the different units that are on this qualification that I've put in. So Unit 1 is one that you've done, developing effective communication in health and social care. Okay, can't put that in. Can't put all that in. Don't worry, it doesn't need to be 100% right, as long as they will be able to get the gist by putting that in. And you will be, well, you'll probably have got that in July, and this depends, the year depends on which year you finished it in. If you're finishing it this year, which is unlikely if it's Unit 1, you'd put 2021, but for Unit 1, most of you will have completed it in 2020, for example. Now, if you're asked for a QCF credit value, you will need to refer to this table. I will post this table on my Google Classroom for my BTEC students, and then you will need to see what the credit value is of that unit. So we know the credit value of Unit 1 is 10. Level, it's always level 3. And grade, this is one that you did last year, so you should have a grade for it. You can put D. Okay? And then after you've done that, you can add another module. Let's use an example of one that you might have studied this year. So let's go with public health. So let's say you did public health this year. The end date would be July 2021. The QCF value for public health is 10. It's a level 3 qualification, and the grade is, well, you've not done it yet, so you leave it blank. Okay, that way your university can see what grades you have got from last year, and then they have some evidence that back up the predicted grades that we give you as well. It is really important that you make sure you put these modules on if you're applying for an especially competitive course like midwifery. And one thing to just take into account is at the top, in the top left here, you'll see it says the module and unit number. The first units you put in, so for example here, the mandatory units 1 to 8, you'll probably be okay with, but after unit 8, depending on what optional units you've done, they may not start to match up. So do not worry if these don't match up to what is said on here, because there's no way to make them all line up. But again, the main thing is this is just for the person reading your application to have a look at, so they can see what you have done. No one's going to reject you if you make any kind of little mistakes on this bit, but do try your best to make sure all the information is there to support your application. Okay, so last bit's just going to go through a few FAQs that you might have with when you've put in these. So when you've put in all your grades, this section will probably look a lot bigger because you'll have a lot more GCSEs than just maths or English. If you ever have any trouble with putting these grades in because of dates or anything like that, you can always go back into your school and edit the dates if you've got them incorrect, because in some cases it won't let you put in qualifications unless you've have the right end dates in there. If you do need to add another college or anything like that, like let's say you maybe did a level 2 at another college before you came on to Health and Social Care at Sheffield College, you can just add that as well. That's not a problem. I would advise that most students who are resitting their GCSEs, that if you did GCSE Maths and English in school and got a grade 3 or lower, I would suggest that you still put your grades in there, because even if you are resitting them this year and will have pending grades at Sheffield College, for some universities and courses, like a grade D for example, does meet some entry requirements. Like with nursing, grade D is often acceptable for that, but if you've been doing grade 1 to 9 GCSE English or GCSE Maths, I would suggest that you do your best this year to make sure you achieve them. At the bottom you should see that there is a tab that says state your highest level of qualification that you will be receiving. So you will be receiving a level 3, which is a below honours degree level qualification. An honours degree level or above qualification is a degree, so you should all need to be selecting this one. That shouldn't be unless you perhaps have done a degree at another university in another country, for example, and are applying again this year. But otherwise, for most of you, it will be below an honours degree level qualification. Now, if you have put a BTEC in, you will have a BTEC registration number that will appear on here. If you have studied a BTEC, if this is here because you have studied a BTEC at school, don't worry about it, just leave it blank. If you are studying a BTEC now, it would be beneficial if you could put your BTEC registration number in. It's different for every student, and if you're not sure what it is, which I doubt many of you will be, just send me an email or send your tutor or your course leader an email, and they can log on to the BTEC website and have a look for it for you. Once you've got that in, it's just beneficial to your whoever's looking at your application, because it means that you will get your grades back fast, or means that your university will get your grades faster. So they'll be more likely to change a conditional offer to unconditional once you have got your results. And that will about do it. Hope you've learnt something, and I hope you're feeling more confident with your education section now. Please have a look here for some more videos to help you with your UCAS application. Bye!